Welcome. Today we'll travel back in time to remember the cast of Back to the Future and see what they're doing now, who's still active, what they've been up to, and those we've sadly had to say goodbye to. Back to the Future, filmed in 1985, is one of the most iconic movies of the 1980s and a true gem of adventure and science fiction cinema. Directed by Robert Zemeckis and produced by Steven Spielberg, the film perfectly blended humor, ingenuity, and emotion into a story that captivated audiences of all ages. It premiered on July 3, 1985, and quickly became the highest-grossing movie of the year in the United States, earning more than $381 million worldwide, an extraordinary figure for the time. In addition, it received 4 Academy Award nominations, winning the Oscar for Best Sound Editing, and also earned a Golden Globe for Best Original Screenplay. Over time, Back to the Future became a cult classic, spawning 2 successful sequels, an animated series, video games, comic books, and even a stage musical in London and on Broadway. Michael J. Fox, whose full name is Michael Andrew Fox, was born in 1961 in Alberta, Canada. From a very young age, he showed a strong interest in acting and began his career on Canadian television before moving to Los Angeles to pursue opportunities in Hollywood. His big break came with the sitcom Family Ties in 1982, where his performance earned him 3 consecutive Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe, making him one of the most popular television stars in America during the 1980s. In 1985, his career reached new heights with Back to the Future and the role that immortalized him, Marty McFly. The film became a worldwide phenomenon and solidified Fox as a youth icon. He reprised the role in the 1989 and 1990 sequels, while also starring in other box office hits. In 1991, at only 29 years old, Michael was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, though he kept the news private for several years. Despite this, he continued working in film and television, and in 2000, he announced his partial retirement to focus on his health and on the creation of his foundation, the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, now one of the world's leading organizations in the fight against the disease. Since 1988, he has been married to actress Tracy Pollan, and together they have 4 children. Throughout his life, Fox has been recognized not only for his talent, but also for his optimism, humor, and activism. He has written several autobiographical books in which he shares his experience with Parkinson's and his positive outlook on life. Today, at 64 years old, in addition to being actively involved with his foundation, he made a return to acting in 2025 with a guest role in an Apple TV series. Christopher Lloyd was born in 1938 in Stamford, Connecticut. From a young age, he showed a passion for the performing arts, beginning his career in theater, where he took part in numerous Broadway productions. His talent led him to film in 1975, debuting in a small but memorable role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, alongside Jack Nicholson, and later gaining recognition in 1978 with the TV series Taxi, where he played the eccentric Reverend Jim Ignatowski. In 1985, Christopher Lloyd achieved international fame with the role that defined his career, the brilliant, eccentric, and lovable scientist Dr. Emmett Doc Brown in Back to the Future. His chemistry with Michael J. Fox became one of the most iconic duos in film history. In his personal life, he has been married 5 times and has no children. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated an incredible ability to transform into eccentric, extravagant, or deeply human characters, always with a unique touch of humor and drama. At 87 years old, the actor remains active and busy with new film and television projects, as well as making appearances at fan conventions. Leah Thompson was born in 1961 in Rochester, Minnesota. From a young age, she showed great interest in the arts, beginning her artistic career as a classical ballet dancer. But an injury led her to change the course of her life toward acting. Her film debut came in 1983 with All the Right Moves, where she starred alongside Tom Cruise, a role that opened the doors of Hollywood for her. The part that catapulted her to international fame arrived in 1985, when she portrayed Lorraine Baines McFly, Marty's mother, in Back to the Future. Her performance made her one of the most beloved figures in one of the most cherished trilogies in film history. During the late 1980s and 1990s, she appeared in a wide variety of movies, including Some Kind of Wonderful, 1987, where she met her future husband, director Howard Deutsch. Over the years, Leah expanded her career into directing and producing, working behind the camera on several television and film projects. She has also taken part in many nostalgic events and productions related to Back to the Future, maintaining a special connection with the audience that remembers her fondly. Today, at 64 years old, Leah is the mother of actresses Zoe Deutsch and Madeline Deutsch, making her part of a new artistic generation in Hollywood. Crispin Glover was born in 1964 in New York City. The son of actor Bruce Glover, he was drawn to acting and literature from an early age. His distinctive style and fascination with eccentric characters made him an unmistakable presence in alternative and cult cinema. He rose to fame in 1985 for his portrayal of George McFly, Marty's shy and dreamy father in Back to the Future. His performance stood out for its combination of vulnerability, oddity, and humor, adding a very human dimension to the character. However, due to contractual and creative disagreements, he did not return for the sequels, which caused controversy when his image was digitally recreated using another actor in Part 2. After Back to the Future, Glover focused on independent and artistic projects. He also ventured into writing, editing, and directing, publishing surrealist-style illustrated books, and producing experimental films such as What Is It? 2005, and It Is Fine, Everything Is Fine, 2007. In addition to acting, Glover, now 61 years old, is a multifaceted artist with interests in music, poetry, and photography. His enigmatic personality and unconventional approach have made him a cult figure in American independent cinema. Thomas F. Wilson was born in 1959 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He is an actor, comedian, painter, and musician. Wilson studied drama at the University of Arizona and began his career in the world of stand-up comedy before fully dedicating himself to acting. In 1985, he was chosen to play Biff Tannen, the quirky antagonist of Marty McFly, a role that became one of the most iconic villains in 1980s cinema. In the sequels, he also portrayed Griff Tannen, Biff's grandson, and Buford Mad Dog Tannen, his Wild West ancestor, showcasing his talent for physical comedy and his ability to adapt to different styles. Following the success of the saga, Wilson continued to appear in various films and television series. At the same time, he developed a strong career as a comedian and musician, creating humorous routines about his Back to the Future experience and composing satirical songs. He is also a professional painter, with his artwork exhibited in galleries across the United States. Claudia Wells was born in 1966 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, but grew up in San Francisco, California. She began her artistic career as a child, appearing in commercials and television productions throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Her moment of greatest recognition came when she played Jennifer Parker, Marty McFly's girlfriend, in Back to the Future. Although her role was brief, her character represented the emotional and romantic side of the story, and her chemistry with Michael J. Fox was warmly received by audiences. However, after the film's release, Claudia decided to take a break from acting to care for her mother, who had been diagnosed with cancer. For that reason, she was replaced by Elizabeth Shue in the 1989 and 1990 sequels. Years later, she returned to the industry in small roles and special appearances related to the famous film. In 2011, she reprised her role as Jennifer in the official Back to the Future video game, lending her voice to the character. Outside of acting, Claudia became an entrepreneur, founding and managing the men's clothing boutique Armani Wells in Studio City, California, a business she has successfully run since the 1990s.